Most creators think they need to give value to grow, but value content died 4 years ago. I grew 100,000 followers in 5 weeks doing this instead. Now I was told not to share this, so I'm trusting you not to abuse this. But if you make entertainment content, this isn't for you, so just click away. But if you make educational content, let me show you how. So there are 3 main reasons as to why value content is dead. Let's use a very simple example of 3 exercises to grow a bigger chest. Let's say that is the content idea. Now back then, competition was low. So if you created content back then, like 4 or 5 years ago, you get first mover advantage. So that piece of content would have worked because it's new, it's novel, and it brings value to the viewer. Nowadays, competition is high. Everyone is creating content. They know that personal branding is important, organic content is important. So that same piece of content is just not going to work because everyone is doing it. The second one is kind of closely ties into the competition aspect is new ideas. So back then, everyone would do 3 ways to do that, 4 ideas to do this, 3 books you should read to grow your business. Nowadays, everyone is just repeating and regurgitating the same piece of advice. So I'm sure you've noticed when you're scrolling, right? When everyone's copying everyone else, whenever you see that same piece of content, unless it's by someone that you know and trust and is already established, you're just going to skip. It's like the same thing. Why would I waste my time watching the same piece of content? Now, the third thing is between general and tailored advice. Back then, a lot of the stuff was just general pieces of content, but the way that we consume and get value has changed because of AI. So back then, if you searched on Google and searched on YouTube, you get some general answer. Nowadays with AI, if I wanted to grow a bigger chest, I can just tell AI to act as a fitness coach, and that this is my height, my body shape, my weight, my build, tailor this custom workout specifically for me, and I'm gonna get way better answer. So this is why the way that we learn and the way that content has shifted has absolutely killed value. Instead, this is what you should do. This is Rebecca. She went from making average content to gaining 10,000 followers with 1 post, and this is ideal educational value-based followers because she changed her value from traditional value to what I call net new value. So the value you're currently sharing in your content, meaning the insights, lives in one of these 4 boxes. And I want you to quickly audit yourself to find out which box you're typically in. So the insights you're currently sharing can either be non-obvious, where the viewer has likely never heard, or obvious, where the viewer already knows. But it can also be non-tactical or highly tactical, where the viewer can use today. So let's say you're a sleep coach. If you made a piece of content that said sleeping more is good, well, that is obvious. Everyone already knows that, but it's also non-tactical, so you'll get ignored. But if you made a piece of content that said sleeping 8 hours is good, that is slightly tactical with the 8 hours, but it's still obvious. So I'll skim it because it confirms what I already believe. But if you made a piece of content that said sleep debt is real even though you don't feel like it, well, that is non-obvious. Not many people will know that, but it is also non-tactical. So it's just a cool fact I might share with a friend. But where you really want to be is up there, top right. It's what I call net new value. So coffee naps. If you take a cup of coffee, take a nap for 20 minutes, by the time you wake up, the coffee has just hit your system and you're ready to go. That is non-obvious, where most people will have never heard. It's also highly tactical, where the viewer can use today. And that's how you create content that people want to binge. Let me give you an example. This is Dylan, and he's giving me more credit than I deserve by saying I'm the secret weapon behind his page blowing up, and it wasn't an accident. But once he started using net new value from the get-go on this new page, he quickly grew 53,000 followers. And his content blew up. Even one of his top videos did 1.1 million views. Now, these are ideal views. Not just empty, viral for the sake of viral, sporadic views. These are people that are qualified, that has the highest chance of them turning into clients because he's speaking within his expertise. So let me show you the example.
Most conversations die not because people run out of things to say, but because they run out of things to ask. So here's 4 elite questions that you can ask at any time to keep the conversation flowing. I use this framework called FORM in like 90% of my conversations. F stands for feeling. When someone will tell me about something that they did, instead of just moving past it, I'll say, oh, what was that like? How'd that feel? Cool. How was that? Most people say yeah, and then the conversation dies from there. Don't be that person. O stands for origin. So someone tells you that they paint, play pickleball, they got a new job, or something that they do. Instead of moving past it, you say, what got you into that? How long have you been doing that for? What'd you do before? Have you always done that? Almost no one asks the question, and the people that do become way more interesting to talk to.
So you see, Dylan speaks directly to a problem that a lot of people struggle with, yet his solution, so the insight value, is net new value. It's non-obvious and highly tactical. Yes, you might have heard one or two of the points that he's making, but most people would have not heard it packaged together like that way. And his acronym makes it highly tactical, where you can use today. If you walked outside today and you see a stranger and you want to have a better conversation, what he just taught you there would allow you to do so, which is why the video works so well. If that is enough, let me show you another example. So if you're in this personal branding, content creation world, you already know this guy, Caleb Ralston. He used to work with Alex Hormozi and Gary Vee for all of their content. But if you looked at his most viewed reel, it is his 4-question brand journey framework. Let me play it.
I have 4 questions that I love to ask people to help them kind of figure out their brand journey. It starts from the end goal in mind. And so it's like, what do I want to have happen? And then the next question is, what would I have to be known for in order for that to happen? The next question is, what would I have to do in order to be known for that? The next question takes you to today. What would I have to learn in order to do the things to then be known for that thing to accomplish what I want?
You see how non-obvious and highly tactical that was? The questions might seem simple, but chances are you've never heard them packaged that way until his video. And you can walk away today, implement those 4 questions, and get the results that you're looking for. That's why that video works so well. But everything goes out the window if you don't have this third thing, and that is lived experience. So the reason why Caleb's content is converting so well, it's because he's done it for Gary Vee and Alex Hormozi, and now does it for himself, and he can share it with you. That's the key thing that everyone overlooks. Just because you read it in a book doesn't mean you're credible and you can talk about it. You have to have done it for either yourself or your clients in order for it to work. Just like Dylan. The reason why his content is working so well is because he's experienced it before. Now he can share it with you and put together an entire framework for you to use. Imagine if I'm teaching you how to get 100,000 followers and I don't have 100,000 followers myself. You'd look at me and be like, why should I trust you? If your stuff is so good, why don't you have 100,000 followers? The same rules apply, which is why the combination of net new value has to be non-obvious, highly tactical, and most importantly, through lived experience. 99% of viral educational videos is because of net new value. So I guarantee if you start using net new value in your content instead of traditional value, it will outperform everything you've done in the past. If you want to add 100,000 followers and get leads and clients every week, check out this video of the 100K plan. It outlines all the steps. I'll see you on the next one.